Hello, friends. How's everyone doing? Hope all is well with you and your family. Hey, this is Singh with Real Estate News School. As you know, we've been covering landlord tenant lease clauses, and then we also been covering all the investor series. So if you didn't get a chance, please go back and watch all those previous videos so you know exactly what we are talking about. And I also have some playlists that has all the flipping houses, wholesale, for sellers, for investors, for buyers who are new buyers, and also for people who want to learn about real estate. So let's talk today about Fair Housing Act. Okay. Fair Housing Act is the abbreviation of FHA, guys. It was put in place in 1968. Okay. So in order to protect citizens from housing discrimination, unfair renting practices, poor housing conditions, that's why this act, Fair Housing Act, was placed in 1968. Okay, people, that was actually for the people with the low income, people of immigrants or color were especially at risk at that time for discrimination. And that's why in 1968 this act came in. This act born against the discrimination. Okay, to stand up for the people in low income group, people who were immigrants or people of color, or people who were risk of discrimination. That's the reason this act born in 1968. So the Fair Housing Act law, they are actually still in effect to protect against housing related discrimination. It's based on the you know color, based on the gender, ethnicity, religion, you know so disability, you know familial status. That's why since 1968, even in today's date, this act is still standing up against the discrimination. This act actually helped millions of people to find their home, protect them against the discrimination, and help them. But it can leave actually rental property owner vulnerable and liable and open to complaints and even lawsuits. Because even if you're not ultimately found at fault in Fair Housing Act complaint in FHA, you can still spend thousands and thousands of dollars protecting and defending yourself from the complaint in the first place. Even worse, an FHA complaint can put your reputation online, and it can hurt your business regardless of the outcome. So the bad apple, the red flag people, they can use FHA complaint in order to get an unfair advantage over you. Okay, We know that, we've been covering that there are, it's a sad, but that is the truth, that there are bad people. All they think about themselves. They don't care who they are taking advantage of, right? So if you don't know the ins and outs of Fair Housing Act, you could leave yourself vulnerable and open to a potential liability you never saw coming. So don't let yourself get exposed to, those kind of people, right? And protect yourself by understanding and following all that FHA law. Because consider talking to someone who knows all about fair housing practices and rules before you move forward with opening up your property to anyone. Okay, because hire the property manager or the lawyer to get all the facts and to understand both your renters' rights, right, as well as your own right also. So you need to consider national, state, local housing laws when renting out your home. Regularly check with your attorney. That's, I've been saying that over and over, because before you make any financial decision, guys, consider with your check with your lawyer, with your attorney, who you trust. You are aware of all applicable fair housing laws in your area, and you are also in compliance. Okay, you also need to check that you are following the requirement of the law for section 8, your social security payment, etc. For example, some cities and counties require that any landlord that accept any kind of special section 8 applications, okay, and in that section 8 application, you have to, in addition, you have to know all fair housing laws. You need to familiarize yourself with ADA. It will protect people living with disability from discrimination in many different areas. Housing include, there may be other laws, particularly, to your area, that you need to research and consult with your attorney, so you are covered in case any bad person who is just looking for their own good, okay, and with your, your kind heart, and they are, you you are just trying to help them, but they are there to use you. Okay, so again, your minimum qualification standards can protect you when it comes to fair housing complaints, but only if you consistently used these standards for everyone. So, ongoing property management, okay, only you successfully landed your first tenant, it's not over. In fact, it's really just the beginning. So you need to cover yourself, responding to the tenant and neighbors complaints quickly. If your tenant complain, address those complaints. They are, to make sure that they are, you know legitimate complaint, or they are deal with them and resolve them as quickly as possible, so you are not potential to any kind of FHA lawsuits. Okay, so maybe the tenant has a complaint about something on your property, okay, that need to be fixed. Maybe they can't figure out how some things work, or maybe they have a complaint with the neighbor. Okay, whatever it is, guys, hear them out and address it as necessary. And if a neighbor complains to you about your property, you need to see what is the issue and try to resolve it quickly as possible before they contact the HOA, or they contact your neighbor, they contact the code enforcement, you know, or any other issue. Because yes, people, they do that. They will file the lawsuit, or they will file the complaint against you. So if a neighbor does file, like suppose HOA or code enforcement complaint, you need to deal with this immediately, because these association can fine you thousands of dollars for tenants who is causing the issue, and it lead to neighborhood complaints. Maybe the complaint isn't legit, or maybe it's according to the terms of your lease, or your tenant is the one who is responsible for breaking that lease. So regardless, get this taken care as soon as possible, or contact your attorney to look into the local by law, to ensure that it is according to the compliance. And keep in mind, guys, that with maintenance, and handle all repairs right away. Make sure that property is well maintained, and that any and all repairs are handled. An important thing to remember is to address and fix property damage issue as quickly as possible, as well as to keep the whole property in good working order. If you have an emergency issue, deal with and fix it quickly as possible. If the tenant is responsible for causing the damage, collect the money from them to pay the cost to repair that damage. Okay, and most landlords, they collect right away if the tenant cause some damage to the property, and it cost money to fix it, but that can't pay like sometime immediately. You just add the money what they fix it with, they use it, to the next month's rent. You can just add it that way. So if the tenant doesn't pay the amount due, then enforce your fees and penalties if necessary, and or file for eviction in worst scenario. So keep in mind that involving a lawyer might not be worth sometime just for $200, because we know that the lawyers cost a lot more. So these are the things you have to keep in mind, and you have to keep in mind the related costs, related fees, whether you need to do repair, or you need to shop around if necessary. You get plenty of quotes from different contractor, from different companies, to find a reasonable rate. You'll also want to screen them to ensure that their credibility, their reputation, their skills are what they are saying that they are. Okay, make sure they are certified, or they are licensed, to do the job. Once you find that contractor, guys, and the tradespeople whom that you can trust, you are reliable and affordable, who are those people, be sure to cultivate strong relation with them, because the goal is to create a list of those contractors who can help you in your business, and that aspect of home maintenance or construction or electrician work, or plumber, or renovation, remodeling, painter, roofer, bricklayer, all those, you know and they are the contractor. Okay, so their expertise, guys, can be very valuable, and having them to speed dial when you need it. And it's very less stressful, who are on the same page as you. Okay, sometime in the beginning, when you don't know, but as the time goes, you can start seeing that if they are on the same page, or they are on totally different planet than you. So in that case, that they are not willing to do the teamwork with you. They are on totally different planet, and even though you want to be in their team and work together as a team, as one, they have different intentions. Okay, so in that case, they will, over and over and over, it's not gonna be a good situation. Okay, so you have to also check, another thing we've been talking, conduct the regular inspections. Make sure the property is being well maintained, check for any damage, or check up for your tenants. Okay, and if you discover that your tenant, you know has a pets, which happen more than often, you might think, confront the tenant immediately, and remind them of the policy and the penalties, and that then you start noticing, if they lie on one thing, they will be lying on so many other things also. And that time, that if you can trust that person or not. And then, so depending on the situation and your specific agreement and your policy, you can evict that tenant because they already broke the rules over and over and over. Yeah, and that, that if that's gonna be like that, because that's who they are, that's their habit, that the long term, it's not gonna be, you know win-win situation. So at that time, you can say goodbye and evict them, and then get the pet deposit, or get the pet to move out, or them to evict the property, because they already broken the lease, right? They lied to you. So these are the things you have to consider and keep in mind. So another thing you have to also, if you like, suppose if you want to sell or rent your investment for the most money. Okay, another that you have to keep in mind, that whether either you are flipping or you are renting, the goal is obviously to get as much money as you can, correct? So in order to do this, you need to attract the right buyer or the right renter, right? That goes everything in life, right? That goes in business, right? Your business partner, your life partner, right? Same thing. It's your tenant, your buyer, correct? So because the right partner will be in your team, the right partner will be want to grow together as one, right? They're going on. It's a one goal for life, correct? Um, that is including your life partner. That's including your business partner. That's including your you know, whoever you are coming in contact as a you know, either a tenant, right, long term, correct, they are partner with your property, correct, and of course that goes with everything in life, guys, correct. So right partner in life makes a huge difference. So um, that's why you need to attract the right buyer, you need to attract the right renter, you know, to have a win-win situation, and it's for long term, right? So you might have to find out, you know, how you can attract the right partner and weed out those bad apple, right? Because they are also there too, and that comes with the screening process, right? When you do property management screening, and there's so many softwares nowadays that you can, it can screen, but softwares are softwares, you know, it's not real. um, so you can't catch everything when those softwares are screening the person, okay. But sometime even in life, as I said, we've been talking about that, when you're naive, you are naive, right? When you don't know, you don't know. That's why it's called a lesson, right? Those lessons are there to teach us so you don't make a mistake, and those lessons are only can be learned because you don't know, right? So you can also you know, go with the like a old school ads, newspaper, magazines, right? You can have them contact you who are looking to rent the property, or social media, right? Anything like neighborhood listserv. But the you have to also check that, you know, um, when you're doing the marketing, right, you're doing that, it's a right ad that you have, that you are planning to rent, whether they are going to live there or use it for if they're gonna use it property for a business, or it's gonna be for both, right? So, and also when you're doing the advertising platform, you need you know, that the description of the property, or they want to book a showing, or anyone with, you know, with the how they're gonna be uh, coming, or what time, and all those things you have to put that in your advertisement, correct? You know, the pictures of your property, right? So it's these things count so much, because it's a it's a good return on your investment. Of course, you know, if you're looking for a renter, you know, you need to have professional pictures taken of your property, and draw, you know, those professional picture will draw plenty of, you know, people to your property, because it will also um, attract the right tenant for your property. Your budget, if your budget is tight, if you have no choice, you know, and you have to take the picture, you can nowadays. There's so many great cameras, you know, are in use, or with your phone also. So, and then writing the description of your property, your objective of, you know, um, of your property, all the explanation, your listing I'm sorry, description, and then also the quality pictures, and in in the past it meant like including, you can do the bulleted, you can do the highlighted features of, like, it's if it has a open floor plan, or if it has a water view, or it has a hardwood floors. Or today, however, listings are, they are very narrative, to create all that scenarios, um, if you have all that explained in your listing. Okay, so these things, makes a huge difference. If it's a two-story family room, or if it has a great conversation, cozy fireplace around. So you have to, main thing, my point is to your goal is to write the great advertisement that highlight the best feature of your property, right? And then, also, best feature that benefit include, history of the home, right? Nice view. If it has a nice view, it has a, like, special features. Suppose it's a large yard, fence yard, patio, or a deck, right? Fully furnished basement, home office, nice garage. How many car uh, they can park in that garage, right? Or a pool, or recent renovations. All these things, in your listing, it matter. And if there's any special amenities in your neighborhood, like great shopping option, restaurants, services, police, park, riverfront, walkways, community center, whatever you can put, if it's close to freeways, right? Any, if local good school district, any public transportation, overall feel, right, atmosphere of your neighborhood, something worth to advertise. And does it feel safe, or it could be potential tenant, they can picture themselves living there. And in addition to capture your property well, you also need to make sure to take Fair Housing Act, which is FHA laws, and your minimum qualification standards into account. If you are looking to rent commercial space, the same hold true, although the focus of your copy should be help them see why your property, you know is best to choose, because it should help them um, picking up that property. And also, you need to have a, you know narrow it down. Once you are interviewing these candidate, narrow it down, help them narrow it down for your property. And if you select your words, your pictures, it's, time to decide where you're gonna put. If you're gonna use the National Association of Realtors, or if you're gonna include the, for sale by owner, or method of marketing the property, whether to for sale, or you're gonna rent it, or you're gonna put that on social media, or you're gonna do it for sale by owner, right? You're gonna post the yard signs in your neighborhood, or you're gonna let your relatives, your friends, your neighbors know that, to help you spread that word, right? Who, either if you want to hold an open house, right, to be fair, because open house are controversial, yes, because of also now, due to pandemic too, you have to be little careful. And then they also, like, sometime, I would say, magnet to nosy neighbors. They always want to come and check out the property, or sometimes real estate gawkers also. They're very curious, about it. So it's just that's gonna be part of it, too. So get, if you want to, put that on a MLS, or if you want, or any agent help, or professional to, for, to put that on MLS, or pay the agent fee, whatever you would like, and place them, your home on MLS also. You can also give your rental property, the most exposure possible. You want to post ad, either Zillow or Trulia, right? And there's a million of viewers, they are looking for properties, and these advertisements are free. So use your social media to help you sell, put the ad on local newspaper. Some people still read newspaper, guys. Most publications will have a like combo rate for print and online. They will advertise in print paper and online paper for you. So you have to check what will be the best way to go. You can check with the Craigslist also, when people are looking, and that is also, or some other free sites you can think about, that they are looking to save money. You won't get the best price for your home from someone who is, actively trying not to spend money, right? So that's the Craigslist can also be one more pool to help you spread the word about your sale, right? First, um, I think sometime it's even free, or sometime you have to pay a certain amount of money for certain amount of time. You can write a description, um, and put pictures on it too, for people to see if they are interested in your house. So these kind of, things and ads can get you the result, and it can, change it as many time as you like. When using Craigslist, in order to stay at top of the home sale list, you'll have to realize the ad every day. You also need to, make sure the design and fonts are readable, you know and then marketing, correct? That is main thing on social media, on advertisements like that. And another thing, I would definitely say that staging too, sometimes staging your home, that makes a huge difference. You're gonna say, you know what is staging? So staging is, guys, sometime if the house is empty, you can have the furniture deliver in, and there are companies who does that. They can stage your home for the amount, time. Of course, it's going to cost you, um, or how many days you need. They can do that and decorate your house. So when you're trying to, like, you know impress uh, the new buyers, or attract the buyer for your property, that is, home staging comes in. It brings out the best or in your property. It much, if it can help you sell or flip the home faster, right? The ideal idea is, still work well when searching for residential renter, or if your, house is empty, they can make it look like a home, instead of just four empty walls all over staring at you. So having your property, guys, looking its best, it will attract more potential renter, or enable them to see themselves there more easily, right? There's always the option of renting out furnished property, and following these staging tips and tricks, you can help it can help you figure out exactly what you should do when you spend your time, where you spend your time, money wisely, right? So minimal staging, it entails is like suppose decluttering or cleaning or shining um, what you got. You know, deluxe staging would mean transferring your lived um, in in house into a model home. Okay, at least for a long, as long as it's on the market. Top notch staging, it can entail painting, recarpeting, replacing shabby, outdated furniture with the new fashion forward item, right? It's like a Cinderella transformation. It can cost you from a few hundred to few thousands, because it's a Cinderella transformation. So it's you, but the professional who is helping you, they can, get you the best price in least amount of time. You have to talk to them what way, what is the best option, like in for example, I think it was in 2017, the home staging by NAR, National Association of Realtor, they provide uh, very like impressive statistics on the home staging. Like 20, it says that around 29% of seller, you know, representing stage home, it increased them 1 to 5% value, more value of the property, right? um, Buyers also, they can compare the properties with unstaging homes, right? And um, and then sometimes um, it also help, to decrease the time to required to sell the home, right? So you mostly in staging, like commonly staged areas are like rooms are 83%, I think. Kitchen maybe 70 to 75%. Master bedroom, that's also around 65 to 70%. Dining room area, that also like 60 to 66%. And buyers, they cited that the bedroom at least is least important room to stage. It's a least. Okay, so making repair both small and large, that goes long way, correct? And towards attracting the buyer. So real estate professionals, they know getting your home into ship shape condition, right? That achieves these goals. The well maintained home, they receive more and higher offers. A house in good shape will fly through all the inspections, correct? The showing a house in a good shape, it will allow you to point out your home's greater features, correct? And then also the most buyer, they will grab, on to any flaws or bargaining chip to reduce the price if all repairs are made prior to showing a buyer, because they won't uh, have imperfection to use as a bargain tool. So if another, you know, you have to see that buyers are more likely to see the property, you know, as a future home. So these are, that's why these staging points, they definitely matter, right? um, sometimes, in my lifetime, in my career research, for example, if a similar house is being sold for a different amount of money, in which one only with the two house, the houses were staged. So clearly, I could find that these, you know, like every time, exact same floor plan, two sales, and they found that, you know, it makes a huge difference. So that you have to keep in mind. Um, and if you're also considering upgrades, right? Upgrade is one of the also another part of preparing your house for flipping, for remodeling, for upgrading, or your home might bring you a better price and reduce the number of days your home sits on the market. Okay. Or sometimes people spend a lot of money remodeling a kitchen or adding a bathroom, or still have trouble selling their house, only that they poured more money into their home and need to get a higher price to recoup all that remodeling cost, right? Because sometimes remodels, like we've been covering that before too. Remember in the flipping chapter and the wholesale chapter, we covered that, right? In those that time. If you haven't watched those videos, please go back and watch those, because that also it cover a lot when you're trying to flip the property, or if you're trying to wholesale the property, what kind of repairs will get you the most money, and what kind of repairs and remodeling will get you the least amount of money. So some remodels, they add more value to the home than others, because it's a upgrade or percentage of money you are spending, you know mostly to recoup that sale. Like bathroom, remember we covered that, like bathroom remodel was like you can recoup like around 70%. If you want to do the deck addition, around 60 to 65%. Kitchen recoup modeling is like 50 to 60%. Your master suite, that also 50 to 60%. Your door replacement, that also it's a entry door, that can recoup up to 90%. Correct. So as we stated, before, we've been covering that major work need to be done. Do yourself a favor, hire a professional to do the work quickly, to if all these repairs need to be done, right? Yes, professional, it will cost money and do, but it will be job will be the right, you know way to do the job. It reduce the stress, and when you are ready to, when you're doing a remodeling and selling. So, and also kitchen bathroom remodel, um, remember we covered that you do enough research to learn what is the trend now, correct, and find a way to match the new look. If you're working in with an older home, this is where like interior designer, can come and decorate your house, or designer know how to make it, they can upgrade the natural look of your home, rather than an afterthought, right? And um, and also another point is, guys, before I forget, let me mention that is, don't forget your systems. Okay, because replacing your water heater, um, I know it's first of all big expense and big hassle, right? And also, it's amazed how important, new systems are for buyers, the new buyers, right? Because replacing your central air condition or your septic system, your HVAC, your plumbing, your electric, or your waste system are, that's they are, if they are nearly end of their lives, replace them, and use bring them, new furnace, right? That will bring instantly hot plumbing, right? So these are, very important points for you before you planning to flip your property or rent your property, um, or sell your property, right? If money were no object, you could hire, as I said, either you can do it yourself or you can hire the stage company, right? So these points you have to make it, make sure you consider these, spend, you need to look at your property and objective to spot the eyesore problem, for buyer to quickly notice that, and if you know it, make sure you fix it, correct? So like deep cleaning, that's also a main goal for property to shine, tidy each room from top to bottom for good deep cleaning, um, get rid of cobwebs, and then make sure it's nothing, cobwebs or dust bunnies are overly, you know on the floors or furniture. So ceiling fans, make sure they are nice and clean, lighting fixture, right? So replace any like burn bulbs if you have, make sure your blinds are clean, make sure your, yeah, walls are, nicely um, cleaned, right? They are, any mirror surface or any television screen or any patio doors or any windows, they are all nice and clean, right? Your wooden stuff surface, right, including wooden floors, and so baseboard, window trim, you have to consider all these things in mind, like hardwood, your hardware, sorry, um, and then if there's a leather furniture, that's clean, right? How about your appliances, correct? And your sink, toilet, tubs, shower, faucets, countertops. So every room is important, but the kitchen and bathroom, that will take you over the top. They need to uh, make sure that before you sell them, because that's the first thing um, any buyer or renter they notice. So vacuum, if it need to be vacuumed, the rugs, your furniture, your carpet need to be shampoo, or your need floors need to be mopped, right? So you have to keep these things in mind, remove the clutter, right? um, and then um, also your refrigerator, that you have to make sure that there's it's empty, it's not full of everything is hanging on the refrigerator side. So you the goal is to actually, guys, to that the potential buyer, they can envision themselves living there, right? Repair, make sure it's repair it, repaint. You might not have the time or money to repair every room, right? But hardwood floor are, scratched with the pens, or kitchen cabinets are not broken. So or the clean paint, that makes a huge difference. um, and then your ceilings are trim, your windows, your doors. So make sure you paint these things, right away. um, and they are not just, shows that it's the paint is not painted professionally. So uh, and another thing you have to keep in mind that I would suggest that keep the neutral colors, guys. That doesn't mean everything has to be lifeless or stark white, but that can have a negative effect as well. Okay, you want color to be, um, you know, like beige or off white, right? Or white, right? Same thing with appliances. Appliances also make a huge difference. Um, that it's if the appliances are not working, you have to make sure that they are workable appliances, sorry. And so these are the few guidelines and decisions you have to keep in mind. If you buy new appliances, if depends in your situation, right? If it needed to buy or if it needed to replace, or because sometime buyer are very much interested to, buying the home with the featured new appliances. Um, Sometimes they prefer stainless steel, right? Appliances. Sometimes the buyer who, you know they sometimes willing to pay you extra if you leave those appliances with the house, right? Because it's not necessary that you have to leave the appliances with the property. You can take appliances, but it has to be written in the contract. Okay, so if the buyer want appliances included, they and if you want, it's totally up to you. Either you can just leave the appliances for them, or they have to pay more for those appliances. Okay, especially if those are new appliances and they are in excellent condition, right? So if you can afford new appliances, you might be, future, it will be help you to set apart from other homes, if you want to put that in. And if new appliances are out of your reach, offer a buyer, for, fully function existing appliances. Okay, all right, guys, I think we covered a lot today. We will continue with this, and then we will cover what else things we have to keep in mind before we put the house on sale and make a good return, you know, for sale of your property. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk soon. Take care again. This is Ruby Singh with Real Estate News School, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you.